I think jiu-jitsu has also helped me embrace the unknown, or kind of appreciate the unknown, because the unknown could be scary to some but beautiful to others.
What do you mean unknown?
Like back to where people, how is this, like the fear of the future.
Okay, like what's coming?
Like scared of doing things because they're scared that over time they might not be able to, or just fear of failure, or just like embracing the moment.
Okay.
And the moment that's to come, like, because like this next moment when you're rolling, you never know what's gonna come up or what's gonna happen. You kind of just appreciate things as they come.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I kind of mean as the unknown, is just accepting things as they come. And I don't know. I think the unknown could be beautiful, because I think if your heart's in the right place and right intentions and you're moving in the right direction, the unknown's gonna be however you want to create it.
You're saying like that no matter. Is it part of it is the fear of the unknown, is like not knowing it's coming, but then the other part you said is the fear of failure. Those are two different. I think those are two different conversations inside of the unknown. Because you're scared you might not rise to the challenge, or you might be scared because you don't know what the challenge is going to be like. I actually think if most people actually really knew what it was going to take to get to black belt, that they wouldn't start jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
If you actually knew, I'm talking about the toll of jiu-jitsu, right? Like what it does like to you physically, and what you have to overcome for yourself. So like not just physically, but like what you have to also overcome for yourself mentally. Because all this we're talking about is growth, right?
Yes,
and all this growth is coming through conflict. It's not just like you wake up and you're like, oh, I choose to accept shit. No, it's like, no, somebody choked your fucking neck like 50 fucking times and you were beating yourself up, and then you said, well, I got to just choose this shit now, right? It forces you to choose. The defeat forces you to choose through the physicalness of it. Or you can sit there, resist, and then eventually quit because it becomes too much to handle. So I was reading Chris Matakis, who has a bunch of really great books out there. His name's Chris Matakis. I think he's a Ricardo Almeida black belt. One of his books, The Tao of Jiu-Jitsu, he was talking about there, and I love it because it's like the Tao is for people that have been training for a while. You guys should read it. It's like got a green cover. Get on Amazon. Shout out Chris. Love your stuff. He's also inspired me to write. It's awesome because he took from like not writing to just writing and then producing. He's got all kinds of books on jiu-jitsu, right? And he's a very good black belt, very good teacher. But one of the things he says is like, I should find the quote for us, but he says like, you know, like think of, you know, blue belts, you know, he doesn't say this, I'm going to add this part in, but like the blue belt conversation we were having before, you get blue belt and you think about all the fights you had to have and all the training you had to have and hours on the mat to get to that blue. How hard is it to get to purple, right? Well, imagine if I could wrap everything up I've learned in the last 14 years of training jiu-jitsu every day and then hand it to you and go, all right, this is what you're committing to. You're going to be like, fuck no, that's too hard, dude. That's just too hard. And he said something along the lines of like the ignorance of a white belt, not knowing what the future has to offer or has in store for you through jiu-jitsu, like the turmoil, the growth, the personal challenges, is that ignorance is what blinds you from actually having to see all that. And so then one day you wake up and you look back and you go, wow, I've been through a lot of shit and I'm a completely different person because of it. But I think if people actually could see that from the beginning, they'd be like, no, you know, same thing with the Army. People actually knew what it was like to join the military, the Air Force, right? And you go, no, I'm good. For a lot of people, especially Army, like they go, oh yeah, I'm going to have to freeze in the rain. Like they may think they're going to have to do that, but you know, you sign up as a computer analyst in the Army and next thing you know, you're, you know, eating MREs for 3 weeks and guarding a gate because they told you to. You're like, I didn't sign up for this shit. Or you're mopping a fucking rain. You know, you're out there in the rain pushing a broom because they needed to go down a storm drain and a lightning storm. And you're like, what? So, but I guess that's kind of everything, right?
Yes, sir.
You get started, there's that unknown. You know, I think if I had the real picture of what the Army is like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't. Now I probably would be like, no, I'm not joining. That's cool. But looking back, you were like, oh, I want to be the guy in the video. You know, the pew, 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 goarmy.com or whatever. Or for you in jiu-jitsu, you're like, oh, I want to be a badass black belt. And you watch him. But then you don't know, like, everybody that's got a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt from a legit instructor, you look at him and you're like I already, just because you have it, I'm like, you've been through some shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Something, you know, unless he's a fake black belt.
Something had to drive them and something had to be there to motivate them.
Mm-hmm. So we'll look back on this when you get your black belt. one day.
15 years from now.
Yeah, 20, 25 years, something. Because you just train, you'll switch to training once a month. You know, be one of those guys.
Hey, didn't we match on Tinder?
What?